Yes, guys, welcome back to more GBFC. Today is the Europa League final. Manchester United versus Tottenham. The winner, not only do they win a European trophy, but they're in next season's UEFA Champions League. It is absolutely mental that we're even talking about this. When you think about this, Man United are 16th in the Premier League. Tottenham are 17th in the Premier League. 12th place Crystal Palace will be in the Europa League next season. Well done to them. So why is everybody so upset that it's Man United and Tottenham? I genuinely think at the end of the day, the European trophy rules are the rules. The Europa League winner, it makes the competition more valuable, that not only do you get a nice trophy that is highly respected in the footballing world, but you then get passage into the Champions League. Quite often, the winners of the Europa League will also probably be in Champions League places in their respective leagues. So I think this season, the fact that we're talking about this is making it a bit of an anomaly. But I will say, if it wasn't Man United and Spurs, I don't think people would be so bothered about it. So credit to the both of them. I'm going to try and keep this video as unbiased as possible. I really want more GBFC to not be the place where my hatred for certain clubs because I'm a Chelsea fan spews over and clouds my judgment when it comes to speaking about football. All right, so Man United and Spurs go into this final. Both of them are in absolutely torrid form. They've both lost 4 out of their last 5 league games. But to be quite honest, going into this match, I believe it's all irrelevant, to be quite honest. I think both of these two teams, right, on any given day, if you look at Tottenham this season, they've scored 63 goals. And I know that they're 17th. And if Leicester, Ipswich and Southampton weren't as bad as they are, then you could easily potentially go down with 38 points. I don't think it would be easily. Like, I think that would be a lot of points to go down with. But they both could have actually been relegated if the 3 teams below them weren't this bad. I mean, between them, they've only got, 59 points, which would see them... it would see them 8th. That's a pointless thing to even say, to be quite honest. But the fact of the matter is, Man United and Tottenham serially underachieving this season. But this is a final. This is a game where you would expect that form would be irrelevant. And I want to think about Spurs and the fact that they've not won that trophy for so long. Manchester United, obviously, when it comes to European pedigree, they've got multiple Champions League titles. The most recent one, obviously, when they beat Chelsea in Moscow. So in terms of like the history of the clubs, Spurs lost to Liverpool in that Champions League final a few years ago. Man United haven't been in one for a while, but they do quite often turn up in the big occasions. Even last season, in that FA Cup final, beating Manchester City, very few people expected them to win. And I think when we think about this game and we think about who is more likely to win, Spurs and Ange Postecoglou have done pretty well against Manchester United in recent times. Spurs have won more of the recent battles between the two clubs. But I do think this game is going to be, I think it's going to be chaos, to be quite honest. I can see it being incredibly open. I think with Tottenham Hotspur, I mean, if we bring up this table again, right, they've conceded 61 goals as well, which is just a ridiculous amount of goals to concede. United don't score many. They've got just over an average of 1 a game in the Premier League this season, but they are also the only side left in a European competition that haven't lost in Europe this season. So as much as we can spend all the time in the world thinking, well, isn't this a joke? Isn't it laughable? You've also got to praise the way that they've navigated this knockout football this season. Man United have done very well indeed to get to where they are. And I think they absolutely deserve to be there, to be quite honest, against all the odds. But let's take a little look now at this. These are the predicted lineups. SofaScore has decided it wants to get rid of the players' faces and make them look like characters from Sims or something. So they've gone with Spurs with a 4-3-3. Vicario in goal, Destiny Udogie, Mickey van der Ven, Romero, Pedro Porro. I think that's probably the best Tottenham backline they could have asked for. Bentancur, Bissouma and Sarr. Heung-min Son, Solanke, and Brennan Johnson. The players that are out, Lucas Bergvall, who I think is actually a decent player, he's not there. Dragusin out, Forster, Kinski, Kulusevski, Madison, Region. I mean, that is a ridiculously long injury list that we're looking at here. Kulusevski you'd obviously want to have in there. James Maddison. So we're looking at this Tottenham midfield and thinking that probably isn't as strong as you'd want it to be. But I do think they can still hurt Manchester United. But when we look on the flip side here at United's midfield, we've got Onana in goal, Mazraoui, Maguire, Luke Shaw. And I'm just going to say now, we're going to go into the doubtful players because I think some of the players that might have been out for Man United might actually be fit. And that could totally change this game. Luke Shaw is a massive weak link in this Manchester United team. Amad Diallo over on the right, Ugarte, Casemiro, Patrick Dorgu, Garnacho, Bruno, and Rasmus Højlund. I don't actually think SofaScore have got this one correct. When we look at the doubtful Manchester United players, Matthias de Ligt is doubtful, Lisandro Martinez is out, Lenny Yoro could be ready, Xerxes could be ready, Evans and Dalot also doubtful. I think when it comes to Manchester United's team, I think Mason Mount is in such good form right now for United. And I mean, I say such good form, that might be an exaggeration to the reality. He's in very good form. And he did very well in the semi-final to get them here in the first place. I could see Mason Mount actually playing over Garnacho here. Rasmus Højlund is the major weak link for me in this Man United team. And look, this could be the game where Rasmus Højlund, despite all of the flaws, all of the weaknesses, all of the missed chances, all of the balls bouncing off of him, are you even a striker? I watch him play and I'm like, I don't know how Man United has spent all that money in the first place. And I'll say it now, when Chelsea were linked with him, I was like, interesting. But he is just not the guy. But maybe this is his night. The key player for Manchester United is obviously Bruno Fernandes. And I look on the opposite side, and I don't see a potential match winner for Tottenham. And Heung-min Son has obviously been a brilliant Premier League player. He's been excellent for Spurs. He is their key man in this team. But I've not seen the same Son this season. Solanke, again, like he has his moments. He has his games. Brennan Johnson has actually quietly had a relatively impressive season, particularly going forward. But I'm looking at this Tottenham team and I think the fact that they've got these four defenders back fit and in the side is absolutely massive. And I think if Spurs had any of those defenders out injured, I would say that this is a no-brainer Manchester United win. But the fact that they've got their first-choice keeper and that first-choice back four, I genuinely think Spurs are going to be up for this. The fact that they have not won a trophy in so long is so important to that football club. And as much as it doesn't bother me, long may it continue. I've already made a video saying I don't want Spurs to win. I thought I will give this game the respect that it deserves today by trying to be less biased. But even if, I look at these players here, if Lenny Yoro is in, then that is a significant upgrade on Luke Shaw. If Yoro is fit and he plays, that makes that Man United defense so much better. So I think that Bruno Fernandes is the key here. I think Casemiro has got so much European experience as well. And I could see Mason Mount starting because he saw also great link up with Amad Diallo as well recently. I think that Manchester United will win this game. And I'm not just saying that because I want them to win. I do want Man United to beat Spurs. Sorry, that's what I want to happen. But I do think United are going to win. You see Ange Postecoglou in the press conference when he's obviously read the article that one of the members of the journalists in the crowd in the press conference was saying. He called him a clown in the press conference or said he could be seen as a clown. And he's kind of biting and playing up to this a little bit. So I think for Ange, he knows that maybe even if they win this game, he's still gone. For Ruben Amorim, I think if Man United lose this, I would say if I was Amorim, I would even be considering resigning. I'm not going to lie, because the fact that he's come in and actually done worse than Erik ten Hag did, Man United are 16th in the Premier League table, and they've been woeful. I watched West Ham beat them, and I was like, you made West Ham look good. And then West Ham were just really poor against Nottingham Forest. I'm like, how can you get beat by this team? So I think for Amorim, it would be Man United shouldn't be there. I'm not surprised that Spurs are where they are, if I'm honest. I think Ange's football is suicidal at times in a football in essence. And I think Ruben Amorim is a good manager. And I think he should be backed by Manchester United. And I think if he does get a summer and they do spend, and they've got Mateus Cunha coming in, which is a great signing, fantastic footballer. But if I was Amorim, I'd be like, is this going to work for me? Like, I've actually got pretty high stock as a manager. And if I keep staying here at Manchester United, is it actually going to improve? Are Man United actually going to spend the money that they need? Can they? Like, there's so many question marks there. For Ange, I think he's gone regardless. I think it would be lunacy for Tottenham to keep with him. 21 Premier League defeats this season. But look, to win that first trophy for Tottenham would mean so much to the club. Daniel Levy obviously is probably also desperate despite the profits looking good at Tottenham. But I don't see Spurs winning it. I don't think they've got the pedigree. I think Man United have got players that on their day, if they show up, particularly in the attacking phase, I think Man United will do it. I think Amorim will get them playing in a final. And I can see Man United winning 3-1. That's my prediction for the final. We will do a review on it on More GBFC. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Because it's just fascinating regardless, isn't it? I didn't want to be making too many videos on Spurs and Manchester United, but it's the Europa League final. It's a huge game. All eyes are on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you after the game.